Recording in progress. Brilliant. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's Rob, and I'm still not feeling 100% yet. So off camera. Let's go share screen, see what's diddling. So hopefully you should be able to see pound Australian dollar, 5-minute time frame, and a bunch of indicators, wiggly lines, and all sorts of weird, wonderful stuff. Now, I don't know if you remember from my video on Friday, I was talking about this zone here, these two orange lines here. So we had a decent move. We played that quite nicely, and back up again. Some decent profit made there on Friday, and I had placed. This is where sometimes being forgetful can sometimes be a benefit and sometimes not be a benefit, because I had placed a pending sell limit order in this area. I didn't actually jump on the charts sort of first thing yesterday because I still wasn't feeling great. I checked my phone and saw that I was very nicely in profit. So that was, yeah, I think it was around 8:30 that I closed that out because my sell limit had triggered. I'd put a 20 pip stop loss on it and took 100, well, I think I closed, it was around 125 pips that I closed. So that was a risk to reward of 1 to 6.25. And yes, I could have perhaps had a tighter stop loss on that, but just because I wasn't entirely sure, not I wasn't confident in it, but I just wasn't entirely sure. I thought I'll just extend it a little bit further, and took that quite nicely when I realised that I'd made some money overnight. And I say overnight, what time was that? Yeah, it's about 3 in the morning UK time that would have triggered. It was about 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours later that closed that out. So today I messed up horribly. I was being a bit of a div. Which one was it? Not that one, this one. So I'm on gold. I thought I'd have a dabble with gold again, and I don't know, I was looking at a buy around this sort of area, and at one point I think I was about 20 pips in profit. I think it was about that sort of level that I got into it. I was about 20 pips in profit, and then it turned and went against me. And actually, when I looked at it, yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't really trading with the trend. It was counter trend trading. So I was trading a pullback. So you may see these orange lines on here. These are 50 pip levels on gold. I've just got an indicator that sets these levels up straight away for me, so I don't have to mark them all out. I just put in the nearest round number. I think I put it at 1800, and then it does a few levels below and a few levels above. You see, this is the last one here. So I'd messed up. I closed my positions at a loss. Excuse me, which I think, I can't remember the exact amount, but I was just frustrated with myself. Ridiculous trade to have got into, because I mean, even if you just look at the moving averages, the blue is below the red. Both of them have then moved below the 200. So it was obviously heading, well, not obviously, but you could see that there was a change of direction there. and it's well, it ploughed down this afternoon quite nicely. So you might see this dotted line here. This is from, well, we're probably not going to stretch that far back, I don't think. Basically, it's an order block back quite a way. Oh dear, so sorry. So yeah, I closed positions at a loss and then jumped in again and made that loss back plus some. So that was quite handy. So yeah, ridiculous initial thought. I mean, if I'd have been more switched on, I could have closed that at a 20 pip profit, but yeah, I didn't. So my own fault for being greedy and thinking it was going to go further up. But for those of you that followed my journey with the pound Australian dollar, I have these similar sorts of levels, but at 35 pip gaps. In fact, let's just have a quick look on here. I've got that set up. There we go. Excuse me. So yes, it's busy. So these 35 pip levels I find quite handy on the pound Australian dollar, and you can possibly see that they come into play quite nicely at various points. But then you could say that for lots of other levels probably as well. So from that move, decent run down, it pushed further down. So yes, I could have possibly made more, but I was quite happy with what I was doing, and I wasn't really in the right frame of mind because I'm still not feeling 100% on. Yesterday I wasn't feeling great. So it's then pushed up from there, it's come down and all that sort of thing. So that's brilliant. But I was not really interested in all that at the time because I'd done quite nicely out of that move overnight purely by accident. And then today you can see that I've marked off this zone again. So similar to, if you recall the video from Friday where I've marked out this zone and this zone, similarly did the same sort of thing here from that zone. So that was from the high there to the must have been the low down. Yeah, so the low down there. And price has traveled back up into that zone, and I took a sell position on that this afternoon, and I think I took about 100 pips again on that, which was glorious. And you've got other confirmations of the crossing of the moving averages, the zone to zone almost on that sort of setup there. What else have we got? We've got here where we've got a cluster of 4 of the 5 time frames. So that's the 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute and the hour, all up in the extreme there with a nice bright red background. You've got the RSI divergence giving you indications of possible bear movements from there. And in fact, at that point there, you've got the bear there, you've got a hidden bull, you've got a bull there. So that was just a small push up there. That one was, sorry, move that up there. And if you see that on the RSI divergence there, it's giving you the bull indication. Obviously that was whatever time this morning, 2:25, 2:30 this morning. And then it's gone in a decent run upwards up into that area, and by the time that I was looking at it, it was just getting nicely set up for a move down. So another example of why I enjoy trading this pair, because the moves when they go are decent, but then there are times where it does just poodle along and doesn't move much between maybe a 35 pip range. It's just up and down, a bit up and down, up and down, up and down, and you can still scalp that. Talking of scalping, this, no, not that one, this one. Excuse me, this is where I sort of jumped in to recover some of my, wasn't revenge trading. This is just on the minute time frame. It was just to help with my initial analysis of gold and where it would be heading. Excuse me. So when it broke through there and went on a decent run, I didn't get all of that. I just wasn't entirely sure it was going to go all the way down, but that's me. So we had that decent break below the extreme trend. You can see we've got the vortex at the top there. So you've got red above green, came close to crossing there. Red above, because red has stayed above green pretty much from that point there. We've got the stochastic on the 1 minute time frame, and again, don't have to worry too much about the stochastic, as I've said before, because this is just the 1 minute time frame. But you can see where the threshold has changed from green to red. You've got vortex with red above green. You've got price on Heikin-Ashi candles below the extreme trend, and that went rather nicely downwards. So that is about my lot for today. I was thinking of getting into this for a buy, but actually, do you know what? I'm still not feeling brilliant. So I've done all right today in the end, even though I messed up, recovered my losses and made a fairly decent profit in the end. So there you go. I got a question the other day actually about the indicators that I'm using. So on here, vortex. The settings for the vortex are just standard 14. And if you want to know, you just go to indicators, type in vortex, and there's this vortex indicator here. Then we've got the extreme trend, and the settings for that are, so I've just taken off the shapes, just got the extreme trend with green and red as the colors on there. No other settings to change on there. It's just, you know, it's just a line, color changing line that helps support whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend. So when price is above, you're looking for buys, but also with the addition of the vortex with the green above red, and also with the threshold with the with that being green. So Heikin-Ashi candles, change of color from, I've got them set up as white and orange, so white for bearish candles and orange for bullish candles. But that's how I've got it. You could set it up however you like. When the candle closes above that line, then that should signify that you're getting in for a buy above this extreme trend. Excuse me. Sometimes I put on this trend fill, which is it's just 3 moving averages. So sorry, 3 moving averages. And actually, I've taken one of them off here because I'm using the extreme trend as well. And then, so that's just my own indicator that I've put together with, say, 3 moving averages and a trend fill. So if it's white, like that white background, that means it's a downtrend. And if there's an orange background, which is not much of an orange background, there we go, orange background here, it's in an uptrend. And that's it. I'm so sorry. In fact, I'm going to stop it there because I'm just coughing like a what's it. However, what's its cough. And that's just on the 1 minute time frame. Great opportunities to scalp. Try and keep everything as clean as possible. It's just every now and then I like to whack that one just to confirm that, yeah, that's below that moving average and prices below those, and therefore I'm happy to sell that down. And on here, this is the same 3 moving averages, just different colors on here because I don't have the red and blue, but on here I've just changed the red to orange. And that is just helping signify that, yeah, that's the blue hasn't crossed above red, still a downtrend, and both of those are still below the 200 on there. So these are, I keep referring to this as 200, it's actually a 100 smooth moving average. So on here, trend fill, where you at? So I've got the 5 smooth moving average, the 21 smooth moving average, and the 100 smooth moving average. And these are actually the 100 smooth moving average is pretty much the same as the 200 moving average. 21 is near to the 50, and the 5 is just a closer to price movement kind of moving average. And then this, I've labeled it as bank zones, but these 50 pip levels on gold, sometimes, sorry, not sometimes, but not, you could see again how these levels are fairly nicely respected. Normally you will find that once it breaks one level, it goes down to the next 50 pip level, breaks that one, goes down, and so on and so forth. So you can see where we're at the moment. I should really adjust these so it's capturing some of the movement down here, but I'm sure if I did, in fact, let's do that now. Let's go for 1780. 1780. There we go. So you can see as I've moved the levels down, similarly, prices has tapped that level there, come down to the bottom of that 50 pip level, it's broken that, come down to the next 50 pip level, come back up to the next 50 pip level, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's just helpful as well having those on the chart. Anything else that I can do to help? So this was the moving average RSI divergence. So for that one, I think you just type in TMA. There goes, this one here, divergence indicator by RTFXC. There is another one here by Phoenix Binary, which is a version 2, and that has a color changing RSI on there, so it goes from red to green, but I'm quite happy with the standard one. This is the multi-time frame stochastic. This isn't publicly available, but there are, I think there are, was it NTF? There is something. I'll try and find it. There is one that's similar to this, but it doesn't have all the funky backgrounds and all of the fast and slow options on the stochastic as well. So it does help. I really like this version because you get things like this where you get a cluster of the multiple time frames down in the extreme, which can support your decision to get in for a buy, and that's kind of why I was looking at that. The only thing that might hold me back is that the orange line is the hour time frame, and that's still on its way down. But as you can see, that's now, it's just on 6 p.m. UK time, and if we were to look at that now, the orange line hasn't quite gone down to the extreme here, but I just enjoy using it because it's really helpful when you get a cluster like that. Even though the 4 hours right down the bottom here, trying to push its way up. Don't worry about the 4 hour too much. That's kind of an overall time, not time, what am I talking about? It's going to move slower because it's the 4 hour. But when you're looking at a nice cluster like that, you've got up in the zone, you've got 5, 15, 30 an hour up in the extreme here. As a great opportunity to start selling. And similarly down here where they were all down in the extreme here, so that's the 5, 10, 15 hour and 4 hour, all down at the bottom there. Great opportunity to start buying, but obviously that was at 2:30 in the morning. We're not quite at that sort of area here, but we did have the 5, 15 and 30 minute with the hour not far behind. So again, nice little cluster of 3 of the time frames down in the extreme. And I tend to normally, when I'm scalping, I just prefer to have the 5 and 15 at least together in the extreme. So excuse me. And there you go. You've got an opportunity there for a buy because the 5, 15 and 30 are down in the extreme. And you know that these are 35 pip levels, so that would have possibly netted you around, you might be approaching 50 pips from that move there. So you know, it depends on your confidence, your risk awareness. You know, if you're happy to risk, let's say, what do we got there? So 10 pips maybe. So 11, nearly 12 pips below there. And that I've got it marked off to this low down here. So you might want to go just a little bit below that. Excuse me. So 15 pips up to, yeah, so almost 50 pips. So so 1 to almost just over 1 to 3. So sorry. Right, I'm gonna stop talking. Have a great time, whatever you're up to. Hope you're still trading. Hope you're still profitable. Hope you're still enjoying the process. Okay, take it easy. Hope you're all well. Stay safe. See ya.